y'all doing? Hope y'all had a nice day. But check this out. Seem like there's been some recent news about the Godzilla and Kong movie. I haven't been hearing no news about it, but seem like Dangerfield got some news to tell us. So let's see what Dangerfield got to tell us. Dangerfield always got some pretty good stuff to say. Let's check it out.
The MonsterVerse started with Godzilla 2014, which triumphantly brought back the King of the Monsters from a 10-year hiatus, where we saw Godzilla portrayed in state-of-the-art CGI, stomping through the streets of San Francisco and battling other huge monsters. Despite some viewers having issues with the film, it was safe to say the floodgates were opened and the MonsterVerse could begin and give the Titans their time to shine. Since then, we've had the Vietnam War-based Kong Skull Island, the apocalyptic Toho monster throwback, Godzilla King of the Monsters, and most recently, Godzilla vs. Kong, where two of the most famous characters of all time duke it out for dominance. Each of these films have had different directors, and I've personally loved the fact that each of these movies have their own identity, that each showcase what the directors loved about these giant monsters. 2014 is more dark and serious, like the 1954 original that Gareth Edward loves, whilst King of the Monsters is closer to the more science fiction-based Heisei films that Doherty grew up with. The 2014 film was very gritty and down-to-earth, with real-world weapons and visuals, whilst King of the Monsters had things like the Argo and Ghidorah being an alien, which was quite jarring for some returning viewers. Godzilla vs. Kong went even deeper down the rabbit hole and felt like a modern Showa film, throwing realism out the window for...
It's safe to say that is kind of true. 2014, don't get me wrong, I love all the MonsterVerse movies, I love all of them. 2014 was more serious. 2019 is more I can't really put it together in my words, but GVK is it's like they all go from serious to serious to him. Well, I guess what he just said, just show like stuff.
Epic visuals and out-of-this-world ideas, like a portal to a hidden world and Mechagodzilla, but it proved to be a huge critical and box office success with a perfect blend between human characters and kaiju action. So it became clear that Legendary will use Godzilla vs. Kong as the basis for the tone of the MonsterVerse going forward. We have tons of evidence telling us what the sequel will look like, so today, let's go over why Godzilla and Kong could be the best MonsterVerse sequel yet. What's up, residents? Alistair here, and like many of you, I can't wait for the upcoming Godzilla vs. Kong sequel. But since it looks like we won't get our first sneak peek until Comic-Con, the best thing we can do is speculate based on the info we have. So let's get into today's update. Remember to subscribe and stomp the notification button to keep up to date on everything MonsterVerse related. Like I said earlier, each MonsterVerse sequel has had their own distinct identities, which, whilst I can appreciate, for many it can make them feel quite disjointed from one another. But 2024's Godzilla and Kong may be the first time one of these sequels actually feels like a true successor. And the reason for that is consistency. Now, the biggest news we have so far is that for the first time, a director is returning for the follow-up film, which means we will see Adam Wingard's stylistic choices carried over into this new entry, from the cinematography to the way the monsters and human characters are presented. So we'll most likely have a lot more wacky physics-defying moments and a great balance between human and kaiju moments.
Hold up. You know, it would have been cool to see GVK in 2019, 2014 style. You know, like a little more serious. But at the same time, there's still great movies. But like, I sort of like the 2014 way of showing the movie. But I don't like how they didn't really show Godzilla doing that movie and stuff. I don't like that. I like everything else is CGI about it, but everything else is about it. And then the rest of the movies, great. But it'd have been cool to make them more like a little 2014 stylish type. It'd have been cool like that. And that's my opinion. That's my opinion.
Based on interviews, it's clear that Wingard is the biggest fan of Godzilla alongside Gareth Edwards. So I'm happy to know his contagious fanaticism will be returning to helm the Monsterverse. And Wingard appears to be getting more creative control this time around because he's bringing in writers and actors that he's worked with in previous films, like Dan Stevens from The Guest, who will be playing the main character. And from what I've seen of him, he will be a charismatic lead. And as for writers, Simon Barrett, who worked on Wingard's horror films like The Guest and You're Next, will also be assisting with the story. So perhaps we'll see more horror elements this time around. Terry Rossio.
I would like to see that. I'd like to see a little more horror, a little horror stuff inside Godzilla movies. I'd like to see that. Like bring it, like make it a little gory, you know, gory type stuff. I want to see blood. Like I want to see that in Godzilla movies. I don't want to see like a little small speck of blood or so. No. I want it to be like a gory fight type stuff. I want that. I would like that. I would love that.
Is also returning from the previous film, which I'm super happy about, since he's finally being given the chance to give back to the Godzilla community after his 1994 Godzilla film was cancelled and replaced with the Emmerich film. Speaking about actors, Brian Tyree Henry, Kaylee Hottle and Rebecca Hall will be returning from Godzilla vs. Kong. They were pretty solid additions to the Monsterverse, and whilst I'm sad to see Millie Bobby Brown and Kyle Chandler not returning, I'm happy to see at least some familiar faces. But these aren't the only aspects that are returning. Junkie XL will also be coming back as the composer for Godzilla and Kong. I wasn't the biggest fan of Godzilla vs. Kong's score. I had super high hopes from the composer of Mad Max Fury Road and the Snyder Cut, but a lot of it just felt like numbing percussion. But he did have some memorable tracks, most notably the opening.
Yeah, I can't lie. The GVK opening, it was the best opening out of the entire Monsterverse series, in my opinion. It was the best opening so far.
One of the biggest benefits to this is that we may see some returning tracks, because at this point we have 3 completely different Godzilla themes.
You know, the theme for these Monsterverse movies really bring out the monsters itself. The 2014 got its own style of music, and it fits perfectly with the atmosphere. 2019 got its own style of music, and it fits perfectly with its atmosphere. And GVK got its own style of music, and it fits perfect with their atmosphere. It's like the music bring out the atmosphere of the movie. That's how it is to me. I like it. I love the way how that works.
But because Junkie XL is returning, we will also be able to associate Godzilla's presence with the music established in the previous film. And whilst it would be nice to hear some classic tracks, I'm happy to at least hear some consistency between films. And that's the one key point to help this feel like the best true Monsterverse sequel: consistency.
Excuse me, Mr. Reyes? You finished screening?
And something that's often overlooked is the director of photography. And Ben Saracen will be returning from Godzilla vs. Kong as the cinematographer to helm the brand new cameras. The upcoming film was shot on IMAX MSM 70mm film cameras with Panavised Canon 1200 lenses, which would make this the first Monsterverse film to be presented in a 15:70 format, which will allow this to be the biggest Monsterverse film yet. Previous films in the series had black bars at the top and bottom, which didn't really let us appreciate the monster's huge size. But in Godzilla and Kong, we'll get a much wider screen to really amp up the sheer scale of the Titans and the badass action sequences. So, everything we know here tells us the film is doubling down on the elements that worked in Godzilla vs. Kong to give us the most consistent sequel the MonsterVerse has to offer. An interesting thing to note is, the production wrapped up last year, and outside of some VFX pickup shots, there have been no substantial reshoots. We know Godzilla vs. Kong went through a pretty big tonal shift to add more comedy and streamline the human plot to get to the monster action faster. But we've seen none of that with this film, which clearly shows they're confident in the product they're making, and that perhaps test screenings have gone extremely well. It's rare films go without reshoots, so this is a good sign. We recently went over returning VFX studios like Weta, Framestar and MPC, which will continue to bring these amazing creatures to life, and with the evidence we have, it seems like it could be the biggest and best MonsterVerse sequel to date. For those that didn't like Godzilla vs. Kong, I say hold up until we start seeing promotional material for the upcoming film, because some of the aspects you...
But I can't wait, bro. I can't wait. I'm excited. I am so excited, bro. Next year, 2024, next year. Wait, oh my goodness. I'm thinking we at the end of 2023. I'm tripping again. Hey, man, we in April 2023. This is when the time passes by fast anyway, but still, I'm excited. I can't wait for the teaser. I can't wait for this first trailer. I can't wait for the movie to release. I'm excited. And I especially can't wait for them to like releasing figures from the new movie and stuff. But about the new villain in the movie, I want the new villain to either be Biollante Destroyer or Gigan. One of those three, or maybe Space Godzilla. One of those four.
might not have liked could very well have been ironed out with a better pre-production schedule and a more confident shoot. So I expect this film to far exceed its predecessor, and it's something worth getting hyped about. In conclusion, what do we know? The director is returning with more creative control, more writers are returning, many actors are returning, the composer is returning to deliver a more consistent score, the cinematographer is also returning with a much better camera, and the VFX studios are also returning to deliver the best-looking MonsterVerse film to date to make use of a wider aspect ratio. And I know we say this a lot, but it's going to be epic. We should start getting more info around Comic-Con and throughout the year as the Netflix Skull Island anime releases.
Whoa, I forgot all about the Netflix Skull Island movie. I forgot all about that. I gotta check that out. No, we don't care. Awesome. Yeah, I gotta check that out.
Followed by the live-action Godzilla TV series. Right now we're just waiting for the floodgates to open, because once it opens, the Godzilla and Kong content won't stop. So Godzilla and Kong will follow through with what was set in the previous film, and we expect it to push the quality to the next level. Godzilla and Kong releases March 15th, 2024.
March 15th. Hey, they say March 15th, 2024, but it's a 50% chance they'll push it back. You know they do that all the time. They always do that with these type of movies. They push it back like a few months or maybe like a few weeks ahead. They might do that. So I'm not gonna get my hopes up high for March 15th.
What are you most hyped about? The fact this will feel like the first true sequel in the MonsterVerse, or are you just happy to see more kaiju action? Let us know in the comment section down.
Both for me. But look though, I hope y'all enjoyed this reaction video, man. But yeah, I'm excited. I am happy. I am happy about the new movie that's coming out. And hearing the stuff they're gonna be doing and what they're gonna be doing with the movie. See, look, the cast. I don't care with the cast. You could bring anybody up in the cast. I don't care. You could bring GTA 4. What his name was again? I forgot his name. But yeah, you can bring any character. I don't care about the character, but I care about it's the kaijus. I care about the kaijus. I care how they work, how they is, their personality and stuff, and their lore. I love that type of stuff. The human side, I don't care. We do not care about the human side of the story. We care about the monster side of the story. But yeah, hope y'all enjoyed this video. But make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the video, and I'll see y'all in the next one.